Hello, everyone. Carolynn Castillo with Absolute Top Dollar and my partner,
Amar Romero.
listing agents with eXp Realty. And today we are meeting with amazing past clients of ours that we actually helped them as they went through the probate process to sell the real estate that was in the probate for absolute top dollar. Okay. And thank you so much, Stacy and Chris, for being here.
Yes,
Thanks for having us.
give it up for the Santoro family. Woo!
So just to give the audience a little perspective of what was going on, you guys had filed, you don't live in Florida, correct?
Right, we're from Pennsylvania, yes.
You're from Pennsylvania. Your loved one did live here in Broward County, so you had to file the probate in Broward County to administer the real estate and other assets, correct?
Yep, that's true.
Exactly. So when you guys were coming down here to Broward County, you guys were getting a lot of calls, like we had just kind of discussed a little bit off of the air. When you first filed and everything was official, what instantly started happening to your phone?
Well, between phone and email, and it's amazing how many people can text me, right? Like all of a sudden my phone number is out there for the world. So I was getting texts and loads of physical mail in our mailbox just saying, hey, you know, we're here for you. We want to sell your property. Some things were literally on handwritten paper, like with a Sharpie, I kid you not. And some things were, you know, typed and, you know, decently written, and some were from organizations and businesses that are a little bit more nationwide. So some were more familiar to us. And then Carolynn, yours came in this really great pink envelope, which right away stood out from the pile of mail. I mean, you know, I'm in sales and marketing, so I understand the power of that. It's not always the decision maker, but it's a differentiator, right? So right out of the gate, I looked at it, opened it up, and we had, because our travel had to be planned in advance and we had a very limited amount of time when we were there, we had to be very concise with, you know, who we were going to see and what we were going to do. And we started to just do these reach outs literally for one day that we had available for a 5-hour window, and, you know, said who could come when. And that's how that process started. Right?
Amazing. Amazing. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for the feedback on the pink envelopes, because that was my exact
you got to keep doing it.
Yeah, because I said to myself, if I got my mail and I got a pink envelope, a hot pink envelope, I am going to be a little curious to open it.
Yes, it's exactly right.
It definitely works.
You had to show it to me too. As soon as I got home, she had to show it to me.
I'm like, look at this. Look at this. We've got to call this girl. You know, this was because sales and marketing it costs money, right? But you get back what you put into it all, and I understand that. And so the fact that you did that speaks volumes for how you want to support and believe in your own business. So
away. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, you know, part of what me and Ahmad do is we've been in the real estate business for over 20 years. So we can sell a property like a banana split. Like selling a house is no problem for us. Like we know everything that's going to happen 10 steps ahead. But why we really like probate is probate has like an extra layer of challenge to it. A lot of times the property hasn't been prepared or ready to be sold, right? There's cleaning out, there's clearing out, there's donations, there's all kinds of stuff that needs to be done just to get it to the part where it can be sold. Was majority of the letters that you got like cash investors that wanted to buy it for cash?
Yeah, I would say 60%, right? 60 to 70%, you know, cash for your property, no questions asked. You know, it felt and read like it was too good to be true, right? It felt a little bit slightly untrustworthy. And I'm not saying that a good cash offer is a bad thing, but I didn't feel that the style of communication or the way that it was presented to us was a comfortable, believable situation. Right. So when Chris and I, you know, planned that trip, we kind of didn't meet with any of those quick cash offer people, but limited our, you know, 5-hour window to people that were realtors or, you know, whether we heard about them or whether we, you know, knew who they were or not, we limited it to what felt the most legitimate. So.
Right. And so that's how kind of we got into this space. Was this space is very heavy investor, you know, where, you know, people, unfortunately, someone has passed away, right? So there's a lot of grief. It's a sensitive time in people's lives. the houses are not typically ready to sell. Like if you guys were going to sell your primary residence, you would probably prepare months, if not a year in advance. You know, you would be decluttering, you'd be touching up paint, you'd be fixing up little by little. But when someone passes away, unfortunately, nobody has like, okay, I'm dying on this date and let me get my house ready because, you know, so it can kind of put like a stigma on the property, and it can, just by the presentation of the property, it can lower the value of the property because it looks distressed, you know? So when we meet with you, you know, our goal is absolute top dollar, is to help the family, partner with them and say, hey, what needs to be done here? So you actually booked an appointment and you met with Ahmad, the man of the hour, the legend.
It was so great.
Yes,
it was great.
and
I honestly think he may have been the last one of the day. I'm not sure. You know, because like I said, we had a handful. We left a little bit amount of time in between to kind of like have a quick, you know, what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, you were the last.
I
You were
think
the
you were
last
the
one
last.
of the day.
Yep. And when you walked out, we're like, we want them. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So it was really great. And really, Ahmad, it was your style, your conversational attitude, and not being so salesy. You were just really like, hey, we're going to look around here. I know we can do it. Let's talk about how we can do it. And we're here to help you, versus, you know, trying to like upsell or make the situation better than what it really was, because it wasn't great. Right. So we just felt that you were very honest in your communication.
Thank you.
For you to look at me and go, I really like that guy, you know, right out of the gate was huge. So it was huge.
So I don't know if you remember, because it's probably like everything was such a blur, but I remember Ahmad had called me from the appointment and you had said, there's no carpet in one of the bedrooms.
Yep.
Okay. And Ahmad knew, he was like, I think this is an issue. Let me call Carolyn, just double check. So, you know, the thing with us is like, when we come into the scene, into the property, we know what it takes to get a property sold. We know what buyers are looking for. We know what banks are looking for. We know what is what you have to do to get the maximum effect at the end. So he had called and I verified with him, like, yeah, you can't get financing. As crazy as that sounds, you cannot finance a property with bare concrete floors.
Wow.
Because it's the banks, just, you know, so you guys know, the banks think if they finance a house with bare concrete floors and then the floors never get put in after financing, it's unlivable conditions to live on bare concrete. So that's where we were able to make some recommendations to you. You know, painting the property, putting down the carpet. What else did we do there, man? What was I know there was air fresheners.
It was a thorough, you know, on top of Chris and Stacy cleaning the property, we came in and we cleaned the property again, just as a, you know, as a backup to their cleaning because of the stench that was left in the apartment, you know.
Yeah, it was a really tough when we left and we said, you know, how is this place gonna get sold like this? I mean, it was, and so many people were saying, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And some said, like, you could not sell it. The one person said you could not sell it in the condition that it was with the floors. But when you came in, it just and explained everything and made it simple.
It felt okay.
Yeah, it felt good. And I said when you left, I said, you know what I like about him? And this was a positive thing. I said, he's a hustler. And I mean, but I meant it in the best way possible. Absolutely. Because you came in and the video that you showed us, and it was, everything was hit hard. You had an answer for everything. And even I said to her yesterday on the way home, I said, you know, it was seamless as far as any issue we had, it was taken care of.
Yeah.
From, listen, we're going to paint the place, we're going to carpet the place. You know what you said to me is what it was going to cost. It was incredibly reasonable in my mind the whole night. So I just thought, this guy's going to get it done. Like, this place is going to get sold. Yeah. And it was crazy. It was crazy how you had every answer. And you know what? When you talked to us on the phone, if you didn't have the answer, when you hung up, you figured it out. You know, but you made us feel like, don't worry about it, because we were out of state. I mean, we couldn't come over and talk to you. We're out of state, and there was a lot of pressure, and everything was on you guys.
Yeah.
And it was an easy process. It was awesome.
And I think too, the one thing that had me nervous in the beginning was, we know we have this property that's in not stellar condition. It likely needs some kind of work. How do I manage that from Pennsylvania? How do I trust hiring a contractor on my own and maybe trying to oversee a process where I'm not there? I'm in a business that deals with that. And I know that if you're not on site, it's a risky business, right? So I just felt that our hands were a little bit tied because we couldn't invest that personal time and energy and money to be there to watch something take shape. And after talking to you guys, it felt like we could rely on you to make it take shape, and we didn't have any worries.
And
So
even with the lockbox to the property, I know there was issues because it was
the lockbox to get in.
Because it's a community and the security. And I thought to myself, just this snafu, like right away, like it was right away. Like you can't even get anybody to see the property. And I remember hearing on the phone, he said, "Don't worry about it. We got it. Like,
we got this.
Don't worry."
I spoke to Tim already. Me and Tim are best friends, which is the president of the board, right?
Yeah. I'm like, this guy's the best. Like, both of you and I could not. I thought it was going to be a complete nightmare. But after meeting you guys and what you got done, I was amazed.
Yeah. And another thing is that we have these connections with these contractors, and we have these connections with, getting these typical things done that a lot of places need that are in probate. The carpet is trashed, it needs a fresh coat of paint. Like, these are just basic things that just the overall cleanup of a fresh coat of paint, fresh carpet, air freshener, super clean, like squeaky clean, that makes all the difference to a buyer. So like when a buyer walks in and it's like carpet from like the 80s, there's like wallpaper, it just kind of gives it like but with those simple things. So with these contractors that we have, they give us amazing prices. And then the awesome thing is that they don't get paid until closing. So that's the awesome relationship that we have with them, is that there's such a trust system built that they say, I know if Carolynn and Ahmad are booking me for this job, it is going to close and we are going to get paid.
Right.
So a lot of families don't have the money up front, somebody passed away. This is now a new responsibility. They have their own lives, their own jobs, their own houses, they don't have a couple $1,000s to invest and making it look more, presentable. So that was the nice thing is, getting it done, having the resources, having the contacts. And then, like you said, it's even for people that live here, it's a trust factor. But when you're out of state, it's a major trust factor, because if we sold you a pipe dream and then Ahmad went at like 10 p.m. and picked up the key from you at your hotel room that night.
Yes, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. We go, my wife says it all the time, we always go above and beyond. And this is, what we do. And this is how, we hope that other people see this testimonial video and can trust us and give us that, the opportunity to help them like we helped your family. And just like you said, kind of, you're about to say, Stacey, about, even the whole storage thing, right? With the final walkthrough, right? There was that one piece left, right? Like, the storage room needs to be cleaned out. And I told you, Stacey, not a problem. I'm going to go there myself. I'll clean it out. It's no sweat, and you were like, oh my God, that's amazing. Are you for real? Are you kidding me? I said, listen, we offer you full service. It doesn't matter. If I got to roll up my sleeves and get dirty, that's what we got to do, for this moment right here, and we're happy that you guys were 100% satisfied with our work. So thank you.
It was over the top, just like you said, with the storage room and bringing the key.
Because when that came to my attention, I'm like, oh my God, I think we have to fly back down there. And like, what a pain in the rear, and Chris is like, no, I think let's see if Ahmad can do it. And of course you did. And it was, we can't thank you enough, because it sounds so simple, but for us, it was a big deal. It was a big deal to be able to get over that hurdle, and you made it a non-hurdle. It was done, and you were like, see, pictures done, all good. And we can't thank you enough. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, and I'm not like my first impressions aren't always, right away trust everyone. He seems like such a wonderful person, but it was the process. It was real easy to do that with you.
Thank you.
With the process. And then even when you called and said, listen, it's going to be, $4,000, whatever it was, carpet and paint, and you're like, don't worry about what throwing the back end. And for me, it would have been, you know, if we were local, I would have handed you the cash to do it. But I was like thinking, we're in Pennsylvania. I don't know this guy except for how many times he told
We
me.
only were in love for like 24 hours.
Yeah, and I was thinking, should I send him a check for $4,000? I don't even like, and I thought to myself, this is how people get burned,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But the way
Yeah.
but you made it easy for me to say, you know what?
That's the end.
It's at the end. So I'm not, you know, it is what it is. And I'm not going to
Yeah.
get burned. So, you know, that was a huge plus for the trust factor. It was huge.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for doing this. We really, really appreciate it. And
We appreciate you guys. You know, if you were to say to me, what is your one regret? It's that you can't sell my house here when I mean, really, because this was such a great experience and we know we're going to be selling our home in a handful of years. And I wish I had somebody like you guys here in Pennsylvania to do.
Well, definitely reach out to us. You know, we do have connections over there. We could definitely refer you to the right people. And just one last question before we let you guys go. If there's one thing that you can share with the public, with everybody else that's going through this probate process about our company, Absolute Top Dollar, Amar Romero, Carolynn Castillo, what would that be?
I think it would be trust them. They know how to get through the process. Most people don't. You know, when you lose a family member in probate, they have no idea how it works, what to do, what you need to sell the property. And we left it up to you, and you guys says we'll take care of it. And it was that simple.
Yeah. And then I think, honestly, I can't remember the exact days that we were engaged after we first met, but I think it was about a week and a half. And you're like, sold, you know, and we're like, oh my God, you know, it's amazing because the market, you know, a year ago, 6 months ago was rapid fire and it started to slow down a little bit when this was in our lap. And we thought, oh my gosh, like it's not the same as it was a year ago. And how painful and how long is this process going to be? And it wasn't. And we kind of went to bed at night knowing that like this was in your hands and it was going to be okay. And it really, really was. So
yay.
it was amazing from start to finish,
So,
guys.
If you need somebody to sell your house, get these two people.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You guys were a
Awesome.
pleasure to work with. A pleasure to work with. The communication, I just have to add too, because again, from a professional standpoint, the communication was rapid and thorough, always. I was never left waiting. I was never left, you know, wondering what was going to happen. And if you didn't have the answer right then and there, at least you responded and said, we're on it. I'll get back to you. And that's absolutely huge. So, you know, you guys checked all the boxes and like a 10/10 plus the whole way through.
Woo, thank you so much.
Yay.
It was awesome.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for watching this video.
Yep. Love it. Thanks, guys. All
Okay.
right.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
But-
Bye.